Hi everyone.
How you all doing?
Hey, thanks for joining in. And today we have an awesome host for us today. He's a head of marketing of a huge company, which everyone knows. At least the designers will know for sure. Or maybe the budding designer or the fake designers, they will know because without Canva there is nothing else. So here's Yogi. Yogi, go on.
Hey everyone, good afternoon from India. Hi everyone, my name is Yoheswaran, and this name is pretty complicated for most people to pronounce, so I've shortened it for just to make simplified for everyone. Please call me Yogi. Beautiful. Thanks a lot for joining in with us live today. We have Eddie and Praveen who are going to run us through on how do you build a clone for LinkedIn. So over to you, Praveen and Eddie.
Somehow Yogi has looped in Eddie now. So Eddie, go on.
Yes, I'm here to learn from these awesome two people, but a little bit about myself. I'm a full stack software engineer if you don't know me, and I have my own YouTube channel as well, and I love collaborating with other YouTubers and other techies. My channel specifically focuses on open source and GitHub, but I'm so excited to be here to learn from these two awesome people and look forward to hearing all your questions in the chat. I'll be there typing away, and hopefully I can answer them, and I'll learn from all of you as well.
One thing which we are going to do right now is we will also try looking into. I guess I will. My introduction is very bad, so I'll ask Yogi to give the introduction because he kind of like made up this whole thing. Like this is one of the best things we can do, and why don't you try this out? And I took up the challenge. It's like challenge accepted, and he was the sole reason. So I'm just gonna ask Yogi, can you kindly explain what exactly we are going to do today? And I don't know whether I will be able to do it, but as a software engineer who has like 10 years experience in web development, how a person like me does something for the first time with just giving a design. So this is what I'm planning to do because a lot of people here will be getting into full stack web development. That's one thing. Second thing is a lot of companies are right now using trying to screen the candidates by testing out if they are able to generate something like a website which is similar to LinkedIn or something like that. So why similar? Just clone LinkedIn, the whole page, the first page, and then send it over to us. That is your first level of the interview thing. So go on. If you clear it, you're in. That's what people are saying. So Yogi, your idea, go on, talk about it.
Oh,
Oh,
Yogi, we
Yogi,
can't
Yogi,
hear
we
you.
can't hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go on.
Okay. So what I was saying was most recruiters and engineering teams, right? They want to give you an assignment to vet your profile before they even consider you for an interview, telephonic interview, or a face-to-face interview. So one of the things they'll just give you a problem statement and to work on it. And some of that we've recently heard is someone wanted to create a UI of LinkedIn. How just can you clone a UI of LinkedIn and show it to us? So we brought it to Praveen saying that Praveen, can we show students and candidates saying that how can they create a LinkedIn clone? So that's where we are here today. So this is one of the famous clones, and if you go on YouTube, not many of them have replicated it, like Airbnb and a few others. And LinkedIn seems to be that devil that no one's touched or spoken about. So Praveen is going to rip it apart and show you how to build it from scratch. All right, over to you, Praveen, to take us through
Awesome.
this
I'm
journey.
really excited. Come on, Praveen. How is it done?
Don't do this hype. I'm already like shivering literally. So it's like a live interview for me, and Yogi is the director of the company. He's interviewing me for this fake company, which is going to. One
Which
more thing when
Praveen
I
and
was
Eddie
talking
are
about.
starting in London.
Yeah. Hope my current company doesn't hear and it doesn't make a problem thinking in a different way. Anyway, hey, if you're hearing it, it's not. This is just for this a made
There's a
up story
disclaimer.
for
There's a disclaimer at the bottom. Please watch it.
disclaimer. Yeah. It's not a real company, but most of. So, what do you think about this, Eddie? Eddie, I'm not sure if you know this. A lot of companies in India, they are doing this kind of a recruitment process, and Eddie is like completely pissed off with what that is happening. What happened was, they give a small mini project which is worth $1,000 for just screening. Right, Eddie, go on, pour
Wow.
your things.
Yeah, I mean, I've been so surprised with the whole internship that people in India have to pay to get internship, to get a
That's another
certificate,
story.
and my mind is still like. And speaking to a friend of mine, Ruth in Nigeria, and she was saying that it's kind of similar-ish. I don't think they have to pay, but they don't get paid for an internship. And I just think that's crazy. But in India, you have to pay for an internship, and to give you a project that could take days to do, I think is a lot of work. Usually it's about an hour, I think, is what we do here in the UK. So I'm learning all the time, and shocked and disappointed. So yeah, we have some future ideas coming up where we're going to try and rock the boat and make some changes. And with Praveen's awesome network of people like Yogi, I think we'll be able to hopefully make some interesting, disruptive, I think is the modern word for it.
Exactly. I mean, like, you remember, like, our last webinar went so disruptive. A lot of people, including Yogi, he took the code of mine, and then he started generating the certificates. Where there is a big company out there in India, I guess they ran out of business, right?
True.
So this is something which happened actually, and yeah. So looking at the thing, hey Shanmuganathan, Yogi is actually joining from Bangalore, man. He is an Indian. Hey, unna Indian an கேக்குறாங்க சொல்லியா?
Hey, no, I don't see the chat. I'm not able to see the chat. Where do I see the chat?
You'd
You
have to
need to
open
go
a
to
YouTube
the,
link,
yeah.
Oh,
I'll just
all
send you
right.
the YouTube.
I'll do that.
but make sure you
Okay.
mute it.
Right,
Yep.
right. Okay, so with that being said, should we directly jump into the design or something like that? I'm scared.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. So he also says the same thing. Not only pay for internship, sometimes they will ask you to build the whole thing, and then they will scam you. Wow.
that's crazy. But
Yeah.
now,
So
one of the positives, I think, 2020 is a terrible year, generally speaking, right?
100%.
But one of the positive things I think that comes out is the remote. Companies that are old and enterprise are being forced to go remote, and I think a lot of them are realizing the benefits. So I think that's going to open a lot more interesting ideas for companies to hire the talent, the right person, wherever in the world. I think location becomes less of a challenge, which is quite interesting. So yeah, I think next year is definitely going to be interesting. There will be obviously some useless old-fashioned companies that don't change, but I think there will be far and few between. So it's it's going to be good, exciting. So what do I always say? What do I always recommend? Get your open source and your GitHub active, little and often, like a little bit every day. Don't try and do any weekends of like 48-hour mini personal hackathon. Just get involved in the conversation. It's not just about code. So that will make you stand out. So that's why I always shout and
100%.
preach about.
Totally.
Hey, and one more thing.
So
For
people have this
sorry, go
perception that I need to do things like, what is it called? I just put in an effort for 2 days and I'm sorted. No, it's going to be consistently that you need to put in your effort. It's not. It's not like that's a statement, right? Rome was not built in a day. It was built every day, as my friend says.
And
So
there is
true.
also this saying, popular saying in Tamil, but I'll translate it in English for everyone. So you cannot become Obama overnight. Overnight, la Obama ஆக முடியாது, something like that. So you can't do anything. You can't achieve completely something overnight. So it has to be like practice, and make yourself perfect and something like that.
And if I can add one more thing to that, so you're both absolutely right, and I won't say too much about it because it's something I shout about on my channel a lot, but it's when I go to GitHub, I don't just want to see your code from today, like if you've done like 48 hours straight or something like that. I actually want to see two things. One is what your recent code looks like and what your code looks like from 6 months ago. So I want to, doesn't matter what state it is in today. I just want to see that today it's better than 6 months ago. So if you haven't got that history from 3 months, 6 months ago, it doesn't help me do that. And also the other thing that's really important that I want to see is I want to see how you collaborate and you communicate with other people around the world. So I want to see how you comment on people's issues, on people's pull requests, and how people comment on yours, and how you take that back. You know, if you agree with it, disagree with it, it's fine. You don't have to agree with everyone, and that's actually important too. But it's how you reply with saying, actually, I think this is better because of X, Y, and X, Y, and Z. So I think that's really important. So do get involved in the conversation. If you haven't got time to contribute to code every day, that is absolutely fine. It is not expected. But get involved in the conversation. And we have lots of test repos if you want to practice the workflow. But anyway, I'm going to shut up about that because I'll talk about that all day. Back to these two awesome people.
Awesome. So let me do one thing. Let me start screen sharing now. And oops, wait. Yeah. So let's start. Yeah, is it ready? Okay, great. I can't see my screen now. So right. So I start with creating a new repository, and yeah, and in case, I guess most of the recruiters now, they will not use this technique to hire anymore because we are doing it public, and and I don't think if we will be able to, they will be able to judge people on this one. So we'll do something called LinkedIn clone here, and the description is. Let's create a LinkedIn clone as a part of my life. And let me put on the do not disturb mode. Oh, what the hell happened? It just got created immediately. I did not even press enter. Did you guys do anything? Crazy people. All right.
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
showing our magic in between.
Really? Oh my god. Be careful with Yogi, everyone. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to.
And what's your PIN code for your bank, Praveen?
Bank account, right? I unfortunately I also work in a bank where I hold my bank account. They have especially requested, oh no, ordered me not to say my PIN details or even that I work in the bank to Eddie and Yogi. So
Praveen, can you
unfortunately,
increase the font a little more?
yeah, I have just done it. Okay, so now what I need to do is I just need to clone this thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, as I say always, I put my username in front of this cloning link, and then I do a git clone and this. So it says you have appeared to have cloned an empty repository. I know. So let's go inside LinkedIn clone, and we can see that it is the master. So let's open it up, and so we are here. So for this project, I'm going to use Sublime Text 2. That is the oldest version of Sublime Text. Eddie, are you happy or sad or pissed off?
About Sublime. I'm used VS Code, but whatever works for people.
Oh, really nice. So I personally like Sublime Text until I switched to VS Code, because Sublime Text is like the most fastest ever I have ever seen, because it's run in Python and it is like, byte compiled, and it is quick. Like if you actually look at how many windows I have got, look at this. So I've got like pretty huge number of windows, and there is not a single performance hit in my Sublime Text thing. Okay, so quickly I should do something. Hey, do you mind stopping the screen share for? I mean, like switching to the other screen
Yeah.
for a moment.
You're
And I'll
going
just.
to. Praveen doesn't want us to see his PIN code. That's fine. I know his PIN code. I'll tell you all already. I'll tell it really quietly. Don't tell anyone. It's our secret. It's
I'll
two,
tell
three.
you in the call. So have you switched off the screen share for
Yes,
now?
screen share is switched off.
Yeah. Okay. So, yep. So I just need to mute a few things. So mute site.
But in the chat,
And
everyone watching, let us know what you're up to. As in, are you in design? Are you a coder? What technologies you use? So if you're in design, do you use
yeah,
XD,
that's a good idea.
Sketch? Do you
I'll also have a
also,
look.
if you're a coder, I've seen some people mention kind of React and Node and stuff. So let us know what technologies you're learning or working with. And don't forget, there is also currently a hackathon by DevTO on GitHub Actions. And so I think first prize is about $1,500. So definitely
Oh my
get
god.
GitHub actioning. And it's awesome. I've got a video coming out tomorrow, probably. It depends how much Praveen
Nice.
distracts me. I've been editing this video for like a week. Praveen keeps distracting me with lots of ideas.
Go on, Eddie. Shout it off. It's okay. Okay, so quick shout out to those who have gotten. Sorry, I couldn't see the chat. So hey Rohit, hey Kabe, hi Ragul, Vamsi. I see almost all the. Hey, Shrutika is also here. She's an awesome designer. So Eddie or Yogi, if you need your any kind of like design stuff, you can talk to Shrutika. Ionic, Vamsi, no, I'm gonna use Bootstrap today. Ionic is awesome. That's another
Ionic is awesome.
yeah, it is another cool thing. And yeah, Rush says that he's a web designer but want to learn backend and JS framework. Cool, man. Let's start. Yeah, super. Okay, you can switch to the screen share thing.
Okay.
And yeah, so I've just created this LinkedIn clone thing, and oops, I need to send this URL as well. Stop screen share. Okay, or else if Yogi, if you can pick up the link, or maybe Eddie, if you can pick up the link and send it on the YouTube.
Yeah, I can do
Um,
that for you, no problem.
Yes, thank you. So yes, we have done this, and we have created this inside the Sublime text. I have created added the directory. So let me start with a new file which starts with index.html, and there are like loads and loads of issues with Sublime text, as we know. Sublime text doesn't have its own terminal, like unlike VS Code. I do know that there are like some packages that add on the terminal, but I don't want to use it. So if I go to install package, and if I try to, so it's going to read up all the packages, and if I try to, yeah, there is a launch terminals from the current file or the root project folder, etc. So it's there, but I really don't want to keep anything other than these are the complete list of packages I've got. Emmet and Emmet CSS snippets. Obviously, package control is what is actually triggering all these packages. So apart from that, PyV8 is something that is needed for Sublime Text to run. So I literally use this only for designing websites, like making the HTML and CSS part. Other than that, I'm not using Sublime Text for anything. The main reason is okay. I'll always start with this quick thing. Okay, so if I go to okay, I'll just use this part. Oh, I can't use a right. So let me tell you this one. So I want to create a UI like this. Let me open draw.io.
Sorry.
Take care, man. Hope you're okay. Hope it's not what we drink.
When you're queuing in the shop, if there's a long queue, just sneeze and everyone disappears and go straight to the front.
Eddie is full of ideas.
I think, if I'm not wrong, this concept was showcased in one of the movies in Tamil. So basically, there's like a new movie that launches, and then just to scare away people in the queue who are waiting for getting a ticket for the first day, first show. So typically, these guys carry a bottle saying that we have acid in it, we have acid in it. And literally, people like literally run away from the scene.
Oh, wow.
I think we should try that, right?
No, that's scary. You get arrested.
Doesn't happen in India.
It doesn't happen in UK. Oh, arrest doesn't happen in India. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. For these things, you don't get arrested. First and foremost, you won't even get caught for this.
Now I guess Eddie will be like completely shocked, and he's like, "What?" and stuff like that.
Yeah, in case Eddie, you want to relocate to India, it's going to be easier for you now that you're in UK, right? For you to become an Indian citizen is much more easier. Just in case you're choosing to come to India,
I already have like dual citizenship with Lebanon, and I'm looking to get Portugal as well. I don't know. Fourth, people might think I'm Jason Bourne or something of like multiple identity.
Possible.
Instead of 007, it's like Eddie 00 negative.
So, I usually go with this kind of a small. Oh no, not this one. Like a small. Why is this doing this way? Okay, so I go with this small kind of layout trick, which happens with most of the Bootstrap kind of things. Like when I'm doing some any kind of like HTML or CSS stuff, I try to do this like something like this. So how long does this thing take for you all to create something like this? This is what would be my question. And can someone say how long does it take for you to create just the HTML of this? So I'm also gonna tell the specifics of this. So this is actually all these four things are inside ULLI and stuff like that. So let me first get that for you. 1 second. So this is what something I have created, and so this one, right? We have um, this whole part is a header, okay, header tag, and this thing is a h1 tag, and there is a tag with logo as the text. So let me actually put that. So there is a header, there is a h1, and there is a nav. Okay, inside the h1 there is a, and there is something which says logo. Okay, and we have a nav and we have a ul. Then there are like four list items, right? So list item, and we have a link called li, sorry, link called link one. And let me try to duplicate these things into link one, link two, link three, and link four. So how long do you think this will take for you to like get this up? Just writing the HTML. So all you require is writing the complete doc type HTML and those kind of things. Then you need to put a header tag. Then you need to put a h1 tag. There is a tag, and there is logo written inside it. There is a nav tag. There is a ul tag. Four li tags with individually each contains a tag, and the a tag contains link one, link two, link three, link four. How long do you think the HTML part alone takes for you? I'm just going to open my YouTube in my phone so that I can look at the chats. I guess that's a better way to do it.
So is this to make it just the HTML, so no styling?
Just the HTML, no CSS, nothing, just the HTML.
I think fairly quick. You've practically written it there. Just missing
Okay,
a few
some
angle
people are like,
brackets.
okay, a lot of people are, okay, I guess everyone have already seen this poor joke, which I keep telling. So a lot of people are saying 15 seconds and 20 seconds. For those people who are saying 5 seconds, I really need to find out how it is possible in 5 seconds. But anyway, so
I was going to say about
uh,
10 minutes, 5-10 minutes probably.
5-10 minutes. So the main average time duration taken is like 5-10 minutes, and for those people who are saying 20 seconds, they know that they know what they are telling. So it is about Emmet and cool guys. Yes, thank you for knowing it. And one person has also said it is through Emmet, right? So one person has actually mentioned 20 seconds or like 15 30 seconds using less than 30 seconds using Emmet. Oh, it's none other than Anubhav. Hey Anubhav. And yeah, so that's true guys. So a lot of people are constantly saying 5 to 15 minutes, right? Perfect. So this is going to take 5 to 15 minutes if you are typing in like this. Okay, the first one is doc type. I'm not sure what doc type I'm using, something like that, right? So this will take definitely 5 to 10 minutes. So let's switch on a timer here. Okay, so we have a stopwatch, and I'm just gonna start it, and let's see how long it takes for me. Okay, so boom. So that's the first thing. The doc type is ready, and I'm gonna use a header, and there is a h1, there is a, and inside that we have a logo. Along with that, we have a nav. Actually, I don't need the parenthesis. Nav ul li a. We have four links, right? Four a. Link dollar, I link dollar, and that's it. 23 seconds. Great. So it was just 23 seconds. So this is one of the ways which I generally love using because what do you call this? Um, Emmet makes you lazy. Not only lazy, but it also helps you make things easy and make you, instead of saying like, I keep saying almost all the developers like be lazy, be lazy. That's the way to go. But now I would try to rephrase it. Don't be lazy. It's actually being lazy, but the better way to talk about it is be extremely smart and productive. So that is what exactly I wanted to say. So this is a productivity hack, and try to use this one in almost all the HTML and CSS for those people who have said it takes at least 10 minutes or something like that. So this is very quick to do, and this is what I generally follow. Okay, one more thing which I wanted to do is, in case if you don't remember how you should be working on creating the base layout for with the meta viewport meta tag. So I'm not sure if we can cover the responsiveness today. It's already half an hour gone, and Yogi, do you want to also, like, when I'm doing something, just fill in some kind of like facts about India, so that Eddie becomes more surprised and more intrigued to come to India and pay a visit to you.
Surprised but not scared. People have to pay for internships. It's not working for free. You're paying to work. Like, what? I still can't understand it. Still can't.
Totally. So Eddie, so what typically happens, right? When they say pay for internships, they're not. That's actually not an internship per se.
Okay.
It's primarily a training company which is positioning itself as offering internships. So they're not actually offering internship, but they're just providing you training.
I see. Okay. And is that like full-time training? Do you get a mentor who's going to teach you all the time, or is it more there's someone there if you have questions?
Recorded
You need a
content
mentor.
on YouTube content.
Sorry.
Sorry, say that
Very,
again.
very rare. It's going to be recorded content is what they mostly provide. No one does that mentorship kind of a model is very rare to see in India. It's picking up. Hopefully, another year or two, we will have a lot more mentorship-led programs here in India.
Wow. Okay. I see. I'm still shocked, as we would say in old English. I'm flabbergasted. I haven't used that word in like 20 years, but yeah, I'm really, really shocked. I see some people in the chat saying I can come to India and help. I'll try and help remotely. I think India's too hot for me. We melted here when we got into the 30s, and I think India goes above 30 degrees Celsius. So yeah, but I'll help remotely as much as I can. I live stream quite often, so hopefully that's helpful. And I have a Discord channel if people want to chat between live streams. And what else do we have? It's all ill for certificates. Someone mentions Tailwind. Yes, I'm a big fan of Tailwind CSS. I'm new to it, but I'm just blown away by it all the time. Praveen, both of you, Yogi and Praveen, what are your thoughts on Tailwind CSS?
Tailwind, I haven't tried. Again, I'm gonna say the same thing which I said long time ago. So no idea. I need to look into it. So not sure. That's what I would say.
Okay, no problem. We'll do a live stream playing with Tailwind.
100%. So you're gonna teach me, and we'll do it. So hey, we can actually say safe journey to Eddie, who's gonna.
Taking my first plane since COVID on Wednesday, so I'm a little bit nervous.
So be careful, stay safe, and come back soon. We need you for the community.
Yeah, I will still be while I'm away in Spain. I will still have my laptop with me, and I will still be in the Discord chatting. And I'll have some videos prepared to kind of launch while I'm away. But I don't know if I do a live stream from my phone. We'll see. I might just try and do something a bit different.
It should be nice. Yep.
So just kind of on the beach, just live stream from my phone. We can talk about, you guessed it, open source.
So today we are going to try to replicate this part. Most of the companies who are trying to hire people, they are trying to ask, can you replicate the front page of LinkedIn? And this is the thing that we are going to do. Okay, so we are going to replicate this one and see if we are able to do it perfectly. One more thing which I wanted to try is this shit responsive? Nope. Hey, look at this.
It's LinkedIn. Is it going to be responsive? Really? Are you
No,
surprised? I am not surprised.
no, we can't say anything bad about the companies that make LinkedIn because I'm still trying to become one of their most valued professional.
the,
Still,
the
let's see.
company has come a long way and it's a lot better, but yeah, LinkedIn is obviously like a subsidiary or something like that, and like
Yeah,
even their messaging doesn't work. I have to keep refreshing their page to check for messages, even
yeah,
on the
that's true. Yeah,
chat that
yeah.
I'm on. Like seriously, it's not real-time messaging. It's like some fake knockoff email that doesn't automatically check for emails. I don't know, so bad. First thing I do
Hey,
on
even
LinkedIn messaging is say, can we move this somewhere else?
even for email, for example, Gmail is using a long polling or some kind of like web sockets to get the new email. So I don't think. Hey, don't target Gmail. They are really good. I
No,
love
okay.
it.
I'm talking about LinkedIn. You don't even. I'm saying LinkedIn doesn't even have that polling. I have to refresh the page.
No, no, no. I was talking about the email services. So that's what I
Ah,
was saying. Okay. So if you see this, this looks like a fixed width page, and we will start with obviously this small thing. So I'm gonna use Bootstrap here. So Bootstrap is one of the awesome things. Why awesome? I know only Bootstrap. That's the reason. So I know all the classes like by heart, so I just thought of like using Bootstrap. So there are other competitors for Bootstrap, that is Tailwind, that is yeah, Eddie will be very happy now. This Foundation CSS, Ionic, Slim UI, Semantic UI. uh, do you know anything else? Leave it in the comments chat. And yeah, so there are a few more things. So I was just I'm planning to use our very own Bootstrap. And if you see, this LinkedIn has almost converted everything into solid, what do you call this, solid stuff. Like there is no gradient nowadays in the top navigation bar or anything, which is actually good. So let's start cracking on. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to use bootstrapcdn.com. So bootstrapcdn.com will give you the files that are required for including Bootstrap in your page. And what else is there? Yeah, it also includes Font Awesome. It includes the JavaScript files, literally everything. Whatever you need, everything is here in bootstrapcdn.com. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly copy the CSS part. So I'll just put a link and I'm just going to put the CSS here. And then we have JavaScript. There is a JavaScript and JavaScript bundle. I'll be using the JavaScript bundle so that things are better. So, oops, not link. Supposed to be script star 2 because, or maybe we can do script src star 2 because the first thing that you require is you need what? Anyone guesses for the JS? It's supposed to be jQuery. We need jQuery for running Bootstrap. So what I will do is I'll go to code.jquery.com. So all these are the CDN links. You don't need to have anything in your computer, so you just need to directly get these things from the CDN. So we can just take this CDN link and put this on top. And I've used the 3.5.1 version of jQuery along with Bootstrap 4.5.2. And that's the same CSS version I'm using for Bootstrap. And Eddie, don't make my. I know I can create a better LinkedIn in few minutes, which I actually did for my final year project as well in my University of Leicester. But unfortunately, I don't think that is possible today. Like, let me try to. So, a lot of people are asking me today. I know only the basics of HTML and CSS. Is this a good time to look into it? Yes, yes, yes. Even if you don't know HTML and CSS, you can learn something. And tomorrow, when you get an interview opportunity and someone is asking you to design a clone of LinkedIn, maybe you can start with this. So it's going to be a three continuous session. Like today, next week 3 sessions, and we'll see if we can create the next LinkedIn possible. Okay, so we'll look at that. And there are other webinars coming as well. So there is one coming in today and tomorrow too. They are like very quick webinars, like, we are going to focus on something on my profile, like my praveen.science. So if you go here, the next webinar is going to be on, see, look at this. When I go down, I get the top navigation bar coming in, right? So when I go up, it's going to go off. When I go down, it's going to come. Go up, it's going to go off. So this is exactly what I'm going to recreate in the most minimal viable product kind of a thing, like the minimal reproducible code, so that you can actually use this on your websites as well. So this is going to be my next one very soon. So keep following my channel, subscribe to my channel, switch on the bell icon notifications, so that you'll get notified when I post new videos.
And
Okay,
give
or
this video a thumbs up to help support Praveen. It does help support
please.
the channel.
Definitely. And Eddie has an awesome channel as well, so he will be sharing the link. So
Thank you,
go
Praveen.
ahead and subscribe to Eddie's channel as well if you want to learn more about GitHub and other things. Hey, Eddie, one more thing I wanted to ask you. So
Yes.
we were planning to do something on GitHub Actions. So when do you wanna stream it? And can we do it on my channel, please?
Sure, no problem. We should, we should do a live stream on GitHub Actions, so we can help people get involved in the hackathon, so they can get a chance to win the $1,500. So I'll tell you what, you come
Yeah.
up with an idea, and we can then build that on a live
Hey,
stream as a GitHub action.
video. Where's the video that you were about to post?
Yes, so the video will come out probably tomorrow before I go away for sure. And then while I'm away, you and me can bounce some ideas. Let me check. I think the
Awesome.
last date for submission for the hackathon is the 17th. So maybe that week when I get back on the 14th, we can find some time that week where we can do maybe a part 1 and part 2, and we can do a live stream building the GitHub Actions. So everyone, share your ideas for the GitHub Actions that you think you would use it for in the chat. We might borrow part of your ideas, but that means we're kind of starting off the project for you, and then you can maybe customize it further. Because I think with those types of things, starting off is probably the challenging part, but once you've got all the connecting pieces working, you can just change the custom JavaScript or Python or whatever you're using to just run each time you make a change. But if you have any questions on that, let us know in the chat. Praveen, that's a really good idea. We'll plan something for 2 weeks' time, just before the deadline on the 17th.
Eddie, do you want to put your Discord link as well? So a lot of people are asking your Discord link, and also the
Yes.
LinkedIn link. Is it like, okay, fine, whatever. So we'll start with the navigation bar. It is going to be very simple, and we'll start with the nav bar that is given by Bootstrap itself. And I guess it is the latest one, right? Yeah, it is the latest one. So we go down, and all we are going to do is like copy paste things. And for now, let's make a simple nav bar with. Okay, we'll just make it complex as well, like whatever is there in this. So all we need to do is you need to have a navbar which has two sides, like with a search bar as well. So every single thing is actually documented in getbootstrap.com. That is the official documentation of Bootstrap. And what I generally suggest everyone to do is, if you're trying to start something new, make sure you follow the official documentation. That is always better every time, right? Okay, so talking about that, yes, we do have a form and other things. So I'll start with the logo part. So there was a logo here. Yes, this is the logo part. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, paste it over here. Unfortunately, this is Sublime Text, and I don't have any prettier stuff installed in this, unlike our VS Code. But anyway, so we've got this one, and I'm just going to copy the bootstrap.com in front of this. So great. Let's start with LinkedIn or something like that. And okay, before doing this one, what I'm planning to do is I'm going to use PHP for serving the whole file. So also another thing which I wanted to tell everyone who is trying to create a website or something like that, make sure you are using a kind of a server, a HTTP server. That will be really helpful when you are trying to deploy it, because ultimately whatever you are developing here, it is going to be deployed on the internet, and it will be using the HTTP protocol. So what we will do is we'll fire up a simple PHP server on running on localhost and port 80. PHP is my favorite.
I'm replying to lots of messages in the chat, so sorry if I'm a bit slow. If I have missed anyone in the chat, just tag me again and I'll reply, so apologies.
So we have something like this. We have got the basic structure. It says LinkedIn, and that is good. So we haven't written much code. If you see, the maximum we have done is a couple of copy paste. What else IT people do? Copy paste. That is actually better. So all we have done is like including the bootstrap layout, and then we have also included the navigation bar right now. So the first thing that I would be doing is I'm going to create another class for this one, like do something like margin right 5, oh not 5, sorry, margin right 2, so that it gives a good margin between this. So one more thing which we saw in LinkedIn is it's actually using a completely a small, like a fixed model, and the logo comes exactly in the middle. So sorry, exactly at the start of this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll get rid of this one. For align middle we will put, and let's see how it looks. Or should I use align top itself? Yep, align top works. And with that being said, we want something like a container and row call 12. Should we use call 12, or like let's say calls 3, and then let's put everything inside this here. I use a lot of shortcuts, and that helps me a lot. So if you do call 3 here, we need to do a call 9 then. Okay, so here's the rest. And if I try to refresh this one, it is going to, like, it starts and ends with the responsiveness. Look at this, the Bootstrap logo and the LinkedIn logo are exactly matching at the same part. Are they by any chance using Bootstrap here? It's actually a good analogy. So, but let me have a quick look. I believe they don't. Nope, they don't use Bootstrap or anything. They're using something called as Neptune Grid. Let's have a quick look at what Neptune Grid is. How many of you have heard of Neptune Grid?
I haven't heard of that. No, maybe it's their own custom thing. I don't even know if it's open source. There's been some questions about. Oh, sorry, Praveen.
Sorry, it says something called as Neptune Software Community. There is something like Neptune Software. Let's have a quick look at it. Yeah, go on, Eddie.
I was going to say there's a question about CDN. Does the order matter? The order definitely matters, because the second one, if it's reliant on the first one, needs to come second. And if you want to override any anything, styles, etc., it needs to come last. So the order does matter, definitely.
The first thing which I have loaded from the CDN is the jQuery, because jQuery, Bootstrap depends on jQuery. So Bootstrap's JavaScript is next, and then first one is jQuery CDN. And with respect to font loading, I keep the fonts starting at the top, then the framework styles, and then our custom styles. This is how I kind of load things. Okay, right. Now let's get rid of this one. Yeah, Neptune seems to be nice, but we are not going to use it. Okay, so we need a kind of like a, what do you call this? A search bar on the top. So all we need to do is just get a form inline, which is next to the A tag, and let's try it out. So we've got these two things, and we've got the search and everything, and let's see how it looks now. I hope it looks similar to LinkedIn. Oh no. Okay, this is interesting. So what I need to do is, instead of using the call 3, maybe I can go for call 5 and call 7. Or maybe I can go for call 6 and call 6. Like, hey, sorry guys, I'm not able to see the chat because I'm trying to rush into the code.
No worries, we're answering questions in the chat, I think. Yeah. So we're good. Hopefully we haven't missed anything.
If I put call call 6 or anything, it's not gonna take up the call 6. Why? Container is big, row is small. It's
But it's okay. I think it shows the realistic side, the authentic side of coding. That's why I like to have a balance between videos and live streams. Because if I just do videos where I've built something that's taken me 4 hours in 4 minutes, everyone's like, wow, you can do that so quickly. It's like, yeah, because I've chopped out me struggling as I go along to do it. Whereas live streams, I think it's really important to show the authentic side, that no matter how many years experience you have, it's, you're still going to come across challenging, things aren't going to work first time, and it's just part of the fun, right? It's part of being creative.
yeah. Hey, but I don't understand why is it taking like it doesn't take the full width here. Why?
What about using flex?
I mean, this is the row thing, right? Container row and row call 6, call 6. Okay, that's interesting. Is it because of this guy? So there is this justify content space between align item center, those kind of things are there. So maybe it is because of nav bar, and maybe I should use something like D block or something like that. Let's see what it does. Nope, that doesn't fix anything. And we've got like I don't understand because see, this container is completely taking up full width, but if I use anything like row or something like that, it's gonna go boom. Okay, let me have a look at how they have actually done
It's
dual
gonna
thing.
go
So this is
boom. I
why.
like that. Is that the technical term?
So this is the main reason you need to read the effing manual.
Yes, and I think it also is a really good point to. I chat to a lot of people online and on Discord, etc., and GitHub. When you're asking for help, it's important to. This is really good. It's important to show what you're using in the documentation doesn't work. So Praveen's trying to figure this out himself. That's great. But if he was to go ask for help, he would say, "I'm following this documentation. This is what they say. This is what I did, and this is the result that I got. But it's not what I expected." Rather than I get a lot of people who ask questions that just say it doesn't work, and they wonder why no one responds because we don't even know what they're talking about. Like, are they working on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, Python? You just don't know. And it's like trying to get blood out of a stone. You say, right, well, what are you doing? I'm writing code. It's like, well, okay, I get you writing code. That's probably like, I could have guessed that, like 99% sure you're writing code. And what are you writing? Well, I'm writing in PHP or writing in Python and JavaScript. Okay. What are you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to build a web app. Okay. Well, and it just takes forever. And then people just kind of don't want to help anymore. So definitely when you're asking questions, include the information, right? People aren't mind readers. I think that's one of my challenges I have because people wonder why they don't get answers or don't get help on their questions. If you want help, you need to make it easier for the other person. And actually, one little thing, actually, really good question, Praveen. Can I talk for a little bit longer?
Go on, go on. I'm trying to figure out what the hell am I doing right
Okay,
now.
keep figuring it out. That's fine. Kumar asked a really good question. How can I start contributing to GitHub and open source? And I love this question. Every time I answer it, I do kind of change the way I answer it. Not because the fundamentals have stayed the same, but I change it slightly because every time I get asked a different question, I learn a bit more and I hopefully explain it better. So one thing we do in our Discord community and our GitHub organization, if anyone wants an invite to the GitHub organization, let me know. But if people have any questions that we think are going to be useful to other people in the community, we ask them to raise it as an issue. Or now we've got access to some GitHub beta features because I'm actually a GitHub star. As you can see, I've got this kind of golden Octocat thing. So I get access to beta features like code spaces and discussions. So I've asked people to start creating not just issues now, discussions, and we can actually have like almost like a forum thread on GitHub. But each time you ask a question, you get a green square. So you're already contributing to kind of open source by asking a question. And it actually helps people practice asking a question, like I was saying a minute ago. So it is really, really important. I mean, if it's a general quick question or really specific, we don't log it. But if it's something that can help other people, and most questions can help other people. Oh, sorry, was that Praveen?
Don't talk anything about quick questions to Eddie. He will
Yes.
get pissed off.
No, there are no quick questions. There might be quick questions, but there's no quick answers. But I think 90% of questions other people want to know the answer to as well, and it helps other people, and they will probably ask the same question. So that's why we raise it on GitHub discussions, and I'll grab a link to that and share it in the chat in a second if you want to raise any questions later on and get your green activity square. But remember, only the good questions get answered, and by good I don't mean it's a super awesome question. I mean that it's written well, maybe with some screenshots. You explain what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve, and that's really important. But yes, and actually another good question. Sorry, Praveen, I'll just say one last thing. Hitesh, hopefully I pronounced that right, says, I want to join GitHub. I don't know if that means join the GitHub organization, our community organization, but if it is, I'll share a link to the repo, and you create an issue to say, can I join the organization? And guess what? By requesting to join the organization and raising an issue, you get a green square for today. And it's how you ask that question as well, remember? So don't forget, future collaborators, future employers are going to look at your profile on GitHub and look at how you ask questions. Some people say, add me now. Well, do you want someone like that on your team? Probably not. And if you wrote something like, I'd like to be part of your community, please can you add me to the GitHub organization? Right, when people see that on your GitHub profile in your activity, you give them like a kind of a positive feeling for them to dig deeper and see how you collaborate. So do think how you communicate on GitHub. I do really believe it is important. And I think people are hiring now more on attitude rather than just skills. I don't know if you both agree or not.
Agreed.
Okay. Totally agree to that point from you, Eddie. So one of the things that I have at least noticed is, let me give you an example. I've received a resume on my LinkedIn without any context to the resume. Someone just sent me a resume on LinkedIn. That's it. No context as to why they have sent me a resume. I have no idea why they've even sent me anymore. Yeah, that's one. And then I've received another thing, and many of them just send me hi. Just hi. I'm like, okay, guys, why have you just sent me hi? What's the context behind it? I'm trying to figure out, and I like, okay, probably they'll get back to me, and then they never get back, and then they assume that we are the ones not responding.
It happens a lot. It's so true. And I think if you write hi to someone and expect them to reply, to say hi back, to start the conversation, it's not going to happen. You've got to write what's your intention, and I think that's really, really important.
True. And Eddie, just to add on to the fact that you spoke about how to ask questions, right? Most of them, there is this, at least thanks to the whole COVID scenario and the whole remote work and working from home, which picked up. One of the things that people have started doing is over communicating, which is what was missing earlier, if you notice, right? Now everyone, no, it's okay. I'll put everything here in this page, in this question. Let it be there. It's okay, even if that person requires it or not. So that's something that I've taken back to start implementing. So just what Eddie said, make sure if you're asking a question, make sure enough information is there on the question for someone to come back and then give you the answer directly, instead of having a lot of to and fro conversation.
Absolutely, it's about efficiency, but don't include things that aren't important. You're going to laugh at this. Let me tell a really quick story. I got asked a question about a coding challenge they had, but they were telling me about where they were sitting in their house, where the weather was. So literally like 50% of the question was irrelevant. And it's like, I'm sitting in the lounge by the window and it's raining outside, but my code isn't working and my dog is doing this. And I'm like, I'm a busy person. I need I need the information, but keep it concise and don't ask people privately. I think I've seen a lot of people in Discord actually add to their names no DMs. I haven't added that to my name, but I feel it is a little bit. It's probably a bit of a harsh word, so apologies everyone, but a bit selfish if you ask privately, because it doesn't help anyone else in the community and they probably have the same question and actually want the same answer. So ask publicly. And so there's two benefits. One, it helps the community, and two, you might get more than one response. And that way, if you get more than one response, you can get different perspectives. And so other people in the community can help and answer the question. And if that person that you wanted to answer is busy or away from their community, I can't speak, away from their computer, then you can have somebody else answer you as well, so you can get a quicker response. So do ask publicly. There are no stupid questions. Just keep it concise and as much information as you can.
I'm just going to explain what all things I did so far. So first thing is like I tried to bring something like this. So now it looks at least to an extent near what LinkedIn is. So what I did was I kind of like tried messing around with the navbar link, but for some reason it is not actually working perfectly. So what I did is I created a background LinkedIn, which is there in the style.css, and I added the style sheet right after all the style sheets have been loaded. And one more thing which I'm adding right now is the font awesome style sheet. So that is mainly for getting all these beautiful icons as font. The main reason why I'm using icons as font is it is scalable, it is vector, and it is configurable in the colorways. So that will also help a lot. So that's the reason I'm using font awesome. And with that being said, the first thing which I need to do, I mean, I wish this was a React project so that I can create this icon as a component and then make this thing look really better. And I don't believe this is a React one. Yeah, it is not a React one. So this page doesn't use React. So I guess they are using Vue or Angular here, right? I guess it is Ember.js. Eddie, what is Ember? What does Ember.js do?
It's similar to React, if I remember correctly. I haven't used it in like, I don't know, 6-7 years. It's been a while. But yeah, I think it's more. Sorry?
And LinkedIn uses that, which is like.
Yeah, I guess because it's such a big project, they won't change it for a while. But I think Ember, if I remember correctly, I think it's more of a library than a framework. So that's why I say it's a bit more similar to React rather than Angular.
Yeah. So yeah, so what I did was I created a style sheet and I added it at the right after all the style sheets have been loaded. This is my custom style sheet, and I created a BG LinkedIn which says an RGB value. Let me convert this RGB value into hexadecimal value because that is easier to learn, easier to know. So if I click on this thing and change this into hex, this is the hex. So I'll just change this way. So if I refresh this page, it's going to be the same. So I got this one here and this one here because we have to have a search bar. And removing all these container tags, what I did was on the top I created the background, and then inside that I created a container row and with the full size column. It is mainly for just using the container, nothing else. Or I can also skip these two things. I don't think I require these two, so I'm just going to skip and see if that actually works. This is actually not a right way to do, but let me check. Yeah, it works. Great. So yeah, I created a container, and with that being said, there is a navbar here, and the navbar brand contains the LinkedIn logo or whatever logo that you are using. Then I created a inline form with a background, light background here, and created a search bar. Or else what I have an idea is I'm gonna say header search, and I'm gonna give a light background here. So header search, the BGC is going to be RGBA. RGBA means it is the background color with an alpha opacity. So you can set the transparency. Like for example, I'm just putting the transparency as maybe 50% will be good to start with. So if I refresh this, it's gonna get screwed up. So this seems to be the exact thing what they are using, and the moment I have it focused, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change this whole thing into white. So that might help. So if I click on this, it becomes white. If I come outside, it is going to be better. And I'm also going to get rid of the box shadow. So box shadow none. So clicking on it, oh sorry, I need to refresh. Clicking on it, it doesn't show any kind of like, I believe it still shows some kind of a box shadow. I guess outline none. I still see a faint blue color thing.
I want to pick out one of the comments from the chat. So Hitesh, hopefully I pronounced that right, says LinkedIn is using handlebars in Ember. I just checked Ember, and it is a framework according to their website, so apologies for getting that wrong. But what I want to point out really is Hitesh just added value to the conversation. So now that person's name is going to stick in all our minds. So when you're contributing to
Yeah.
open source, don't try and create a huge feature that has got like hundreds of lines of code. There's so many things wrong with that. One, it's hard to review. So it's difficult for the project maintainer to review that. And you're probably going to get a lot of comments. You're both going to have a lot of conversation back and forth. So think about, to get a pull request accepted, you want it to be as small as possible. Yes, I said that right. Small as possible. I'm more likely to accept a 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 line pull request change very quickly and get it merged in. And if it adds value, so give another example. I had some pull requests recently where one had these cards styled up perfectly, but it all had Lauren Ipson and fake images in it. And they kept on saying to me, well, why aren't you merging it? I said, why would I merge that into my project? It looks beautiful, but there's no value to it. I said, what would be more valuable is a simple list with the actual information that we want to display, and then in your first pull request, and in your second pull request you convert it to cards. In your third pull request you could make it look a bit better with maybe some extra links, etc. So it's always about adding value in the smallest possible way, and that goes for open source. I think that goes for your work, that goes for your client projects, etc. as well. If someone's paying you to work or a client project, they want value in the quickest amount of time. So what we call, I don't know if you both know this terminology or use a different terminology, but it's having a lower fidelity, but it adds value. So again, taking the list and the cards, for example, a list that isn't styled perfectly, but it looks okay, it's acceptable, but it has valuable information in it, and then increase the fidelity to like cool fancy cards or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So currently, what I have done is I have added the style sheet with a background, and I also added this font, Open Sans. I love this font, so I just added this one to make things better. And also for the header search, when I click on the search, it's gonna show it in white text, and if I come out of it, it's not gonna show anything. It's gonna be like the dull one. So, oh wow, these people are doing something totally in an insane way, which I don't think we can do it now, but this really looks nice. So what I can do is I can also, on click, I need to bring this small like this small search button, right? So what I can do is I can actually make all these things possible using CSS itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create there is something called as search button and thing. So this is actually, I keep closing this one. It's called as like a button group, I guess. So let me go into the documentation and try typing in form controls, and definitely there was a button attached to it. So this is something which we need to know. So as long as we know what we are doing, or like as long as we understand, okay, this is where we can get something in, and that should be it. So we can easily get something from it. It's called as an affix or suffix. Anyone know what exactly I'm searching for?
No, what are you searching for?
I want to do something like this. So look at this. The button is actually attached to this input box, and I know
Got
that
you.
Bootstrap has something like that.
Yeah, I haven't used Bootstrap in years, but is it something like, yeah, append or,
Something
yeah,
like this, but it's a button. Um, so this is called as uh, what do you call this one called? Input group. Okay, great. So let me try input group, and we'll see if, yes, there you go. This is input groups, and I need something with a button. Do I have a button here? First and last name. No. Yes, there is one. So this is what exactly I'm searching for. So what I need to do is I need to do input group prepend or something, append and stuff like that. So let me try to add the same thing here. all I need to do here is I need to copy this whole search kind of a thing, and instead of this I need to add this one. So we have got just a form control, and there is nothing else is there in this. So we've got all these things. I don't need this margin. Maybe I could take this margin to here, and BTNSM is okay. So I'm just going to use the same BTNSM here, and we've got all these things. Button add-on ID is not required at this point, and I believe this should actually work for us. So let me try putting this on here. Do you think this is worth for a internship thing, something like that?
I think it's good to see how people lay out their code and what they use, like for example, we were talking about before.
Just like a person with my experience takes so long, so many confusions and so many frustrations. What do you think about the students who are going to attend for the first time? They won't they might give up already, like for these things?
I don't know. What do you think,
if they
Yogi?
give up, then, I don't know if they give up so quickly. I don't know what else to say. As a developer or as a engineer per se, your role is to solve problems. No matter what problems come up, you have to identify.
I agree with it. But at the same time, there are like loads and loads of people who are who might be intimidated by what is happening here, right? Look at this. So many things are happening. Even for
Ravi,
that
that's
one.
why we have you to simplify it for them, right? That's why we are all here to help them get it simplified.
Okay.
We're going to break it down for them. Sorry, I mean, you're going to break it down for them, right?
Yeah. So what is the real display here? Oops.
So there's. Should I give away one of my secrets when I do interviews, Praveen? So when I do interviews, like I said to you, I look at the GitHub. I told you about the whole attitude and communication over skills. But on the technical side of the interview, what I do is I give someone a test that I know is going to be too hard for them, and they don't have enough time to do it. So for example, if doing what Praveen says, say for example, it would take, I don't know, 4 hours, for example. I don't know, I'm making that number up, but say 4 hours. I would give them like 30 minutes. There's no way they can finish it. But I want to see what parts they focus on first and what questions they ask. That's why I want it harder for them, because I want them to ask questions. I always say, you've got Google, you can ask questions as well, any questions you want, because again, that just shows the communication side. And are they open about their communication, as Yogi was said and written in the chat? I think that's really important. And are they specific and about the challenge that they have? And it's interesting to see what people Google as well. Like, do they Google, how do I do this in Bootstrap, add a button to the end of the form input field? Like, it's really specific. They know what they want, and that's fine. We're not expected to remember that. But do they Google how to make a LinkedIn app clone? Then that's just too generic, and I'm more concerned and worried about it. So, yeah, just a bit of a hidden gem there, hopefully.
Agenda there. Yeah. Totally. So primarily in interviews, when they ask technical interviews, right, primarily they give such kind of problems, as Eddie said, is to understand how you approach the problem. To make it, keep it very simple, it's just about how are you going to approach it. They know that at most times you will not be able to solve it, but how is your thinking around the problem? What are the steps you're taking towards the problem? That's how they look at it, right, overall. Any thoughts from you, Eddie? And
yeah.
Sorry, say that last bit again. I was writing in the chat. Sorry, say that again.
Sorry. What I was saying was, so primarily they know, the recruiters know, the engineers know that they've given you a difficult problem. Now they just want to see how do you approach it. What are the steps you're going to take, like how you explained in depth, right? That's primarily how they're going to look at it. They know you will not be able to solve it in the given time. So,
absolutely. It's interesting to see how people try and solve it in the limited time that they have. For example, take the LinkedIn example. Some people might focus on getting the header perfect, like absolute perfect, but the rest of the page is empty. Some people might put the skeleton layout. And again, it goes back to adding value. I want to see what people put they prioritize their value, for example, what they think is useful for that project. And with the whole CI and CD, it's all about adding value little and often. It all ties into open source and agile. It's all kind of the same. So it's interesting to see if people, okay, I know now we're focusing on the UI, but say if it was a full stack example, would people do the back end first, the front end first, or would they write tests for part of it first? And it's just really interesting to see how people plan their work. And usually under pressure, people cut corners. And it's always interesting to see what corners they would cut.
Very
Okay, this was interesting. So I was able to do this. I hope this is almost similar to what I wanted to do. So if I need to do a hover for this one, it's gonna be a different color. So I want it to be black once I hover it. So it's okay. Something actually happened. Oh, I guess I'm using too much resources or something. Yeah, perfect. That kind of worked. I'm gonna do margin right -1, so it has some. Yeah, to an extent I was able to do this. So let's say how this works. So I believe I need to put the margin right on this one rather than, oh, nope. Okay, I need to fix these small things maybe later. So because after 1.5 hours of time I have just managed to do this, which is worst. So that's what I was like thinking. And
No, it's looking good, and it shows how challenging it is. And it's not, I think when people
exactly.
also, go on, sorry.
Like, what do you think? Like, this is so challenging even for a person with an experience. That's what I was trying to say. How about freshers? If freshers are given such a challenging task, I was just a bit concerned how things will work out. That's it. Had I been an interviewer, I wouldn't ask anyone to do this. 100%.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, the other thing is to add the icons. I believe at least the icons part should be easier. So let's go back to our nav bar. And so what do you think so far, people? Like whoever is watching this, what do you think about this? This is going so crazy. And wow, it looks crazy now. Okay, so all I need to do is I need to use a div class, something like this, and that one here. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not able to see this at all. And I believe there is some kind of like a extra class that needs to be, yeah, nav expand LG. This is something which I learned after getting hit hard by a lot of things. So I guess I will go with nav expand MD, and that will show this thing. Oh wow, now this is what I wanted. Boom, we got this. Almost. There's some space here. So it
Do
is
you
in the
not
navbar.
have autocomplete, sorry, IntelliSense for Bootstrap?
Really? It would be
No,
nice, but
you don't have it. Okay.
I
In
prefer not.
Tailwind, not I'm saying one's better than the other, but in Tailwind you can get a plugin for VS Code, which really does help.
No, I know. No, there is a plugin for this as well,
Ah,
but I
okay.
really prefer not to use any IntelliSense. There is a reason behind it because I want to use my brain rather than relying on something which kind of like um, it is kind of a help for beginners, but beginners will not learn that. So now as I am a seasoned person, now I don't require that at all. So if I want to go directly edit something on Vim, I can directly go and edit where there is no IntelliSense or any nonsense there. Got it, right? So
Yeah, it's
that's the
true.
real that's
It's
the
a
main
tough
reason I hate
one.
that.
It's a tough one. I flip flop between the two in terms of I agree with you one day and then one day I'll disagree with you. The reason being, it's good to learn these things, but in reality, like take driving for example. When someone's driving on a Formula One track and a Formula One car, they do have the car does a lot for them, right? In terms of, I don't know, ABS, assisted braking, and they have lots of information about what's going on. So sometimes I also feel it's good to memorize these things, at least a bit of it. But also, if we've got these tools to help us, we should try and learn the things
100%.
that are more valuable than trying to memorize all the different things. It's a tough one. I flip-flop between the two. So today I'm leaning more towards use it, but tomorrow I might be leaning the other way.
So now I'm confused on how to make this whole thing go on the right side. But let me have a look. Okay, it is actually taking up full width, which means I would need to do something like make this as a display inline block and make this text right so it goes on the right side. So shit. I guess it should be display inline flex. Doesn't work. So this is perfect, and this is inline flex. For flexes, I need to do align right. It's not a text thing. Nope, doesn't work. So I believe this guy is a flex. Yeah, it displays flex. So which means I need to make the contents of the flex box align right. So if I go to the flex utilities, more than the CSS, you need to know what exactly the flex utilities do. So uh,
Absolutely. That's really important. If you're using a lot of these frameworks or utilities or whatever you want to call them, to understand what's happening behind the scenes, because you might not always be
no,
using that.
made it work. He made it work. But
Nice.
it's not the right one. I don't think it is the flex row reverse, but it is about something like the flex align, something like this. So the second one, so justify content end, it is not the flex row reverse. Again, it is not align content, it is justify content. And most of the times I completely mess around with justify, align, and this is one of the main things I love this game called Flexbox Froggy. How many of you have used this one? Oh, look at Hitesh. Hitesh is messaging something. Eddie, it might be interesting for you to read that.
Let me have a look. One sec. I'm just adding someone on the GitHub organization. I'll look in 2 secs. Thanks. Let's have a look.
So these are the two games that I would recommend everyone to learn. And this is one is the Flexbox Froggy. So you kind of like learn Flexbox by, um, like using these things. Like you are being um, trained on the different kind of properties that a flexbox can have, and then you add them to this particular code. And because of, like, for example, the current thing which we are working on, which we worked on, is justify content. So all you need to do is type in justify content, and there are like many things that are here. There is like flex start, flex end, space between, space around. So what we need to do is this guy needs to go into this pond, right? So what we need to do is we need to put flex end here. So if I do this, it's gonna go on the right, and you're good with the level, so you can go forward. So this is something which is very much interesting in terms of, like, how this whole thing works, and you will learn through this. That is what I was trying to say. It is the same with grid garden as well. So all you need to make this thing is that grid column start 3 and stuff like that. So we need to make grid column.
Oh, I wasn't aware of Grid Garden. That's pretty cool. I do like grids.
Boom, that also works. So something like
Nice.
this is one of the awesome thing that I have seen in the few days, and this I really love this. So yeah, so let's pass on these two links: Flexbox Froggy and CSS Grid Garden. Okay, so we have got the initial basic layout of like what we need in the in LinkedIn. So we have got this one. So we have got a drop down, etc. So the drop down is here. So we can use this for the me, and the work is like completely totally different. So I guess what do you think, AD? I guess we can't even go to this next one. So look at this, people. So if they are asking you to do something like LinkedIn, with all the support that I got from the live chat as well, I was able to, after 1.5 hours time, or maybe around 1 hour time without the explanation and stuff, I was able to do only the top bar. Even that is not complete. Let me at least complete that. And I'm
And
already
now
hungry. Like,
imagine the plight of the students, right?
sorry.
Now imagine the plight of students when they're going in for
Exactly.
interviews.
So this is what kind of like annoys me. Like, why recruiters? Why are you doing this? I mean, not everyone. Those people who are giving this kind of a thing.
Hitesh is asking
So,
why aren't you using Tailwind?
Eddie needs to answer that. I'm not using Tailwind. I don't even know how to use it, unfortunately.
We can use that on
We need,
another stream. I'm still
yeah.
learning it, but I do think it's good to compare. Actually, one thing we could do. Oh, I've got an idea. We could do a live stream and have 2 or 3 or so or people, and we could all build something the same, something simple, not like LinkedIn, something maybe a bit simpler. But one uses Material, one uses Bootstrap, one uses Tailwind, and we can just compare them side by
Wow.
side.
Right. That's a good
That would be
idea.
amazing.
I think that'd be really, really good. Actually, it'd be quite interesting. I don't know Tailwind very well, so I'll be super slow, but it'll be fun anyway.
Oh no, then you're leaving day after tomorrow and you'll be not there for another 2 weeks. So maybe after that we need to have some kind of like a tailwind party, or like, front end all different languages party or something like that.
Yes, so we'll do it. So the week the 14th, when I get back, we'll do GitHub Actions because there's the GitHub Actions hackathon due that week. And then the
Meeting.
following week, we'll do the front end kind of styling.
Fusion, front end fusion, or front end
Exactly.
cocktail party. I don't know what you want to call it.
Exactly. Which one do you prefer, Yogi?
So I don't code. I'm a no code guy.
Okay, so you can be the judge.
Sure.
You can pick the winner. I think we should have
Totally
three
fun.
like categories or something. One is like kind of like the ease of somebody else picking it up, like how readable is it, and then maybe like how it looks as well and stuff like that. So have a few different categories. I'll let Praveen organize it.
Let's see. Oh, so I guess we have almost done with, you know, the header. Oh no, I really wanted to do something like this. This is one of the automatic things that we wanted to do. But right, I guess I might go another time live to make this part. But come soon, Eddie. So that's what I would say. And with that being said, I'm gonna add these links alone right now. And so we have a briefcase link. We need a home link. So let's start with those things. I guess we are almost done now. So FA home, FA users, there is briefcase, there is messaging. For the messaging thing, I guess it's envelope or something like that. And it is not sure what is the worst kind of thing that I'm using. So it's supposed to be um, an unfilled one. So this is again another problem um, with the icon set that we are using. So if you are using -o, the outline version, you need to use the outlined version. Okay, we are not anyway exactly ripping off LinkedIn, right? So let's try to use something different. So we've got users, we've got network, everything is there now. So all we need to do is we will give a span, and we'll give, this is going to be home. We've got network, we've got jobs, we've got messaging, and we have our bell icon again. Please hit the bell icon. This is the bell icon. So
I
That is
think
just good.
a really good question's raised. I can't pronounce your name. I'm really sorry. Maybe Yogi can help me. About, is learning front end really worth it because I want to get a job in 1 to 2 months? I think front end's always worth it because whatever you do, even if you end up as a back-end developer or data science or whatever it is, usually you want to display those. Yes, there might be someone who specializes in that, but it's good to have an appreciation of how to maybe organize the data, present the data, etc. So I think always have an appreciation for the front end is really important, and if you can do the front end as well, that's really good. So no, I still think it's worth it.
So with the nav item and the small thing, we need to make it come down. So I'm going to use a display block there. So if I do this, it's going to come down, which is good. And for the nav item, I'm going to make them into centrally aligned. So that looks something like this. And it looks like all these nav items have a fixed width or something like that. So let's also make the icons look a bit bigger. So font size 1.5 or something like that. So if I refresh this one, it's going to go big, which is almost, we are here. And that does font size 0.75. So make it more smaller, and that looks good. Now the only thing which we are looking for is making all these nav items have a fixed width. So min width is going to be like 100 pixels. Oops. And 100 pixels is too much, so maybe 75. Boom. We've got something, and that kind of looks fine, right? Oh, it's actually screwing up the other places. So let's try to reduce the sizes. So this link itself has some space, so it has a padding. So nav link has some padding. So we have nav item and nav link. Get rid of the padding so that we get some space. Okay, so we're almost done. We got this one, and I guess they require more space, so I'm gonna do 100 pixels as such, but something is actually missing. Whatever. So the last one for the me. I hope Yogi can understand who I am imitating or other people. I'm gonna use
So, and the me in the me wants to communicate with the me in the you, or whatever it is, man. I never understood what he was trying to communicate as such.
good guy.
And
Eddie, you
people are
need to
clapping on that.
have you
Eddie,
seen that he has created his own he has created his own
island.
whatever. I no, he created his own government.
Country.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Created his own what? Sorry.
Go on, Yogi. Explain him. As a yogi, you have to explain about another yogi.
So we have a Guruji here called Nityananda, Swami Nityananda, all right. So he was primarily based in India, and then he relocated to another part of the world where he's bought his own island, and he's created his own country right now. So imagine that
Whoa,
in his own mind.
that's awesome.
And
If
hey, I think probably we should share the video of Nityananda with Eddie, and then let him say he's saying wow and all that. Let's see after the video then.
Okay, yeah, definitely share the video with me. I look forward to seeing it. I think if I would create my own country, you know what the law would be?
Open source for everyone.
Open source for everybody. Exactly.
You have to have at least 10 pull requests approved, so that will give you the passport.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one, right? 10 pull requests a month, otherwise you lose the passport.
Right. Okay, so we have almost done everything, but now we are stuck with this part where there is this small after thing coming up, and that needs to be fixed. So what I'm doing is for the nav item with a drop down, inside that I've got this drop down toggler. So I'm going to do a nav link dot drop down toggle for this guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give position absolute, and for this guy I'm going to give position relative, so that I can correctly position these two things. So right now I can't see anything here. The after is gone here. So now this one I need to put it as top 50% and right 0. So it goes on. Oh, sorry. Should be after. Sorry. Yeah. So it's gonna go on the right extremely, and that exactly is what is happening here. But instead, what I would like it to do is gonna go sit next to me. Me and the me and the me. Shit. I'm gonna put bottom 0 and right 20%. It's gonna be a trial and error now. Okay, it got screwed up. Too many requests for stack path. Right, so we've got this. So another thing, instead of refreshing a lot of times, what we can do is we can use the, like this guy. So whoever is this one. So to make this one like this, maybe bottom 6 or 5 pixels, and the right can be made into like this. Wow, 27%, and just copy and paste it. Oh, just these two lines.
I would just like to add. Oh, sorry, Praveen. Go on.
Go on.
I was going to say, I know Praveen is saying he's showing you how it takes time, how he needs to look at the docs, etc. But I still want to add that Praveen is really fast. I think I would be twice as slow as Praveen. He's very quick.
No way. I know you. All right, so here we go. We've got the basic version of how LinkedIn is there, and we have actually created something. But let me fix this one. I don't want so huge button spaces, and this is almost good. As a judge, Yogi, what do you think about this one? Does it look good? And Yogi and others, any questions or something like that?
Can you?
I think probably it's time to get acquired by LinkedIn.
Yeah. I was going to say, Praveen, can you bring the tab below this one so we can see them above each other? Is that possible? Yes, perfect. I prefer your one.
Because it has open sans.
Of course.
And we actually forgot this part. There is a small, like for every drop down link. Yeah, I mean, I'm being more picky on how each and every single thing works. But still, what I thought is like, okay, let me do it. So every nav link or nav item, whichever is active actually. So I guess nav item is having an active class. So for all the nav item, I want to create a border bottom 2px solid, the same background color as EG LinkedIn. And if I do that, I kind of like get not much difference. And for that one, which is an active nav item, I need to give BB border bottom color as white, so it looks like this. Shit. No, this is not what I wanted really. But where is this space coming from? We don't require this space. Okay, it is coming from this nav bar, which has this py1. So I'm just gonna get rid of the py1 then in that case. Boom. Wait, so we almost managed to do the same thing. There you go. Yep, that's it.
That looks really good. What do you give it out of 10, Yogi?
Can I go? Can I give him beyond 10? Is
Absolutely.
it restricted to 10? I would say 11 on 10 for now.
Awesome.
Oh my god, I really didn't expect. So yeah, so yeah, right. What do you mean, Swaraj? He just searches whichever font he wants and uses the class in the HTML file. I don't understand, but okay, interesting. Oh, no, 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 no. For the fonts, what I'm saying is it is fonts.google.com. It is fonts.google.com. All right. So Eddie, again, I guess you can stop the screen sharing. So
Yes.
yeah, so here it is. So what we have so far done is we have just created the HTML section of this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna commit everything and change it into like no, I'll just push the whole thing into GitHub right away. So created header and it's being pushed. So anyone who's looking at it, please go ahead, check it out on your on this and right. I guess I'm gonna starve. Like I'm already fainting a bit. So what do you all think?
But you did really well. I think it was probably less than an hour of coding. 'Cause I know we've been streaming for about an hour and a half, but we've been talking and distracting you and all the rest. So if probably, I don't know, half of that, like 45 minutes of coding, I think you achieved so much already. And it's really, really impressive that you started completely from scratch. I think one suggestion that I have for next time, and I've only just realized it now, is you've just committed and pushed up the code, which is great because everyone can see it. But I think what would be really good each time you get kind of some piece that adds value kind of working, for example, like the bar across the top with the logo, maybe nothing else, maybe you commit and commit that. You don't have to push it until the end of the stream, but at least you commit it. And then when you've got the search kind of working, you commit that, and then the icons across the top right. The reason for that is that maybe people can see in the history kind of your workflow and your thinking again. Just an idea. I don't know, what do you both think?
Good idea.
That's a good idea. Totally.
Something I should do
It'll
for
give them
mine
the approach.
as well. Sorry, say that
True,
again.
true, very true. I was saying that it just gives them the approach on how to look at a problem or a project and how do you start thinking and working bits and pieces of it.
Exactly. I only just thought of it now, so it's something I'm going to do for my live streams and videos as well. I think that's good. So, see, collaborating with other people, you're always going to learn something new because they give you ideas, inspire you, motivate you. So, yeah, I love this sort of stuff. So, thank you for Praveen for organising this and for Yogi for joining and so on. And everyone, look at the handles on that side next to Yogi and Praveen. Don't forget to follow them on Twitter, LinkedIn. And if you send LinkedIn invitations, put a message. Like, I don't get it. Just don't be a random person sending an invitation because it's a bit spammy. Put a message saying, hey, it was nice to read your blog post, see you on the live stream or whatever it is. And then you're more likely to get that connection. I highly recommend that. But yeah, follow these two awesome people. Yogi, do you have a YouTube channel?
No, not right now.
Do you mean not yet? So that's something we're going
Not yet.
to, Praveen and me and everyone else watching is going to convince Yogi to get a YouTube channel. I think that'd be awesome. Praveen, isn't it awesome having a YouTube channel?
I guess Yogi already has one. So he's a
No,
marketing
I
geek.
don't have
He
one. I
already
don't
has
have my own personal channel.
he's doing it for
My goal is to
the
let others build their channel. That's what I would focus on.
so Yogi is gonna help me
Okay.
build my channel. Please, Yogi.
Awesome. So which channel do you work on? Sorry, Yogi, I missed that.
This is the channel he
So
works on.
I work with other folks on helping with their channels. So some of
I
my
see.
friends' channels I work with. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I look forward to having a read and see what you've done. That sounds cool.
Sure.
But you should have
Sure,
a
Eddie,
YouTube channel sharing tips so you can get more like funnel of people discovering you and so forth. Like, yeah,
Actually,
that's what I recommend.
I have a plan for Yogi. So Yogi is gonna start a new episode on my channel. It's about giving the life hacks for getting the best out of the interviews and stuff like that. So even I would require that, but anyway, not now.
Let's do that. So whenever
Yeah.
you want to
So
do it, let's do it. No problem.
let's make every Wednesday evening at 5:30 or something like that. Something like that. We'll figure out something.
Yeah,
We'll figure
schedule's
it out.
really
Sure.
important. that's something that my YouTube channel is really lacking. Is I just do it randomly, just go live or schedule one for 2 days time or whatever, or tomorrow. But you're right, having a schedule really makes a difference. So yeah, do that.
No, again, it was actually because of you, Eddie. I stick to this schedule because never ever in my life I have stick to schedules, or you know about me. I never follow the times and stuff like that. But recently, when you are involved, I have to make sure like I can't take up much of your time. At the same time, make sure whenever you are giving me time, I have to make the best use of it. So there you go.
Cool.
All right, perfect, guys. So see you on the next call soon, next live stream where we all will be joining together and
So
creating something
yes, and
awesome.
one more thing- sorry. So one more thing, I have already shared the LinkedIn clones URL in the chat. So here's the GitHub code. So go ahead, start the repository, fork it, try adding some more issues so that what we can do is we can follow a pattern or something like that. Okay, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do next, and stuff like that. So yeah, we can do that way, and yeah, that will work.
Awesome.
Great. Okay, so everyone, stay safe. See you all, and shall we leave?
Yeah.
Bye
See
bye.
you guys. Have a
Thanks
great
everyone
weekend.
for coming up.
Rest of the Sunday
Giving
then.
us-
Bye. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having.
much for having me on your stream, Praveen and Yogi. Great to meet you. We'll catch up
Thank you
soon.
so
Same
much for
guys.
helping me.
Sure.
See ya.
See you guys. Bye bye.